Hey everybody, it's Gypsy, and welcome to On the Edge of Appalachia. Today is Saturday, February 8th, and, that reminds me, today is the anniversary of the date I adopted this beautiful girl. She had a rough start. The day before I rescued her, she was attacked by a dog, tore open her abdomen. We had no idea if she was going to survive, but she did, obviously. She's very healthy, very beautiful, wonderful cat. She is the best personality. So, we say happy, adoption day to Rhiannon, my girl. So anyways, as you can see, a lot of the snow has melted. Now, in our yard, it doesn't look like it, I think because we have so many trees and stuff. But here's the problem. Everything is a sheet of ice. You know, they were able to do the roads, and this has been going on for like at least a week now. But, I just saw a driveway, it looks just like ours. People's walkways, and it seems especially if you do not have a paved driveway, this is happening. Most people don't have paved driveways here. In fact, getting your driveway paved in the county I live in seems to be like a new thing. I'd say when my youngest son was a kid, nobody really had their driveways paved. But anyways, it's been quite a winter. I don't mind the snow. We're supposed to get more snow this afternoon, which will help with traction. But what's been happening is, it's like it'll warm up for a very, very brief moment. Everything will start melting, and then it'll freeze all of a sudden. I mean, we just drop. So we've been having problems with ice this year. But I did not go to the flea market last week because that's when it started, and it was so bad. I couldn't get out the door, and we've been having trouble finding rock salt. Finally found some. Like, everybody's running out in our area because of all this. And, I'm sorry. We finally found some yesterday. I've never seen this guy before. It's rock salt, but then it has these black things in it. I don't know what it is. But it gives you traction on the ice. I mean, it's like the ice is softened. We did like a pathway from the door to the cars. It's softened. I was able to break a little bit of it up this morning. But it's still there. But you get traction with this black stuff. I don't know what it is, but I like this rock salt. Anyways, what times we are living in. And I know we all have different perspectives on it. I have lived most of my life since I was a little girl. I mean, I always told you guys about the first day I went to kindergarten. It was like, I knew things weren't right here. Like, something is very, very off. I never liked it here, didn't want to be here. I walked to the first day of kindergarten. I looked around at the kids and the adults, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't like this. It's a circus. You know, when you're young, you can't really put your finger on it, but as you get older, you start to see more and more. And then when I started to spiritually awaken, I started not only to see it, but receive messages about. I remember after my son died, he said to me, Mom, you are not going to believe what is really going on there on planet Earth. Not just with the U.S., but every country. He goes, you're not going to believe it. You'd be shocked. You know, he would drop hints every once in a while here and there, but he said he couldn't really come out and tell me. I don't know, I guess it had something to do with my purpose or whatever. I do kind of get it more and more as my life goes on, but I have always been very obsessed with freedom. I always wanted to be free. And it's like my life's goal is to be free. And when I became an adult, well, when I was a kid, it was, all right, your parents were taking care of you, keeping you safe, but the teachers are controlling you. I always felt controlled by the school system. And this is pre-1979, And then, there's, that. But anyways, even now, I have even more of an awareness than I did before about what's going on, even into more like details. But I don't think any of us, will ever know for sure and specifically, but most of us have a good idea now. That being said, I know there's a lot of people who are terrified right now. And I get that. Many people just plain don't like change. I've always been one of those people who I always like to change because I get bored easy. And I always think, to me, change is growth and improvement. So I look at it that way. But the way I viewed the world all my life, to me, this change is exciting. This is what I have been wanting and waiting for all my life. And I would try to explain to people, and they didn't get it. And I think they still don't, but there's more and more who are understanding what I'm saying. So this change is hard. Change is always hard. It is. It's hard to get used to. And I know others, they don't perceive it like I do. They see something different. But my biggest thing, I guess, to put it more simply, is I believe in small government. And, since I did have most of my schooling pre-1979, I also am aware that the Founding Fathers meant for it to be small government. Okay, government was never supposed to get this big. Yeah, and it's much more complicated than that. It goes much, much deeper. And that's just with what I'm aware of. Imagine how much deeper it is with what I don't know or understand. It's mind-blowing. But to me, it feels like this is what I have waited for all my life. I spent most of my life depressed because I never fit in here. I don't fit in with my family. I never have, even as a small child. I always felt like the black sheep. And I was the one always getting in trouble and stuff, but it was more the way I viewed things. And it was very, very quiet and shy. I never expressed how I viewed things or what my life was really like with anyone. If I did, it would have been with my very best friend. This is when I was a child. This is my friend who I tell you guys about. We've been friends for 51 years, which I think is amazing and a huge blessing. Anyways, I'm just saying, I know it's hard. Okay, I'm excited about it. There are a lot of other people who are, but there's many who are terrified and don't really understand what's going on. I wish I could make people understand, but I don't know how. I wish I could just ease people's fears. I know it is tough. it's hard. I'm excited about it, but it's also hard. And especially with the division that they, and yes, everyone, there is a they. And if you still believe there's no they after all this, you're on the wrong channel. You're listening. I don't know why you're listening to this. But anyways, they went to great lengths to make sure we were all divided in every way possible. And that is sad, because I remember a time in my life where, yeah, we all knew we were different in this way or that, individually and in bigger groups. We're different. That's what makes the world go round. That's what makes the world interesting, is we're all different. And when you start to have problems is when ideas and lifestyles that normally didn't affect you or didn't bother you or you didn't really think of are forced upon you, are constantly being shoved in your face. And here's the biggest thing: being made to feel guilty about something you never did. Okay? If you want to make change in the world, now I've talked about like recycling and stuff like that. A lot of guilt was used. Now, guilt they use for everything. And unfortunately, there are so many people who have such low self-esteem that if they are given permission to guilt others and made to feel like, and I said feel, like they have the moral high ground, they're going to take it and run with it. And that's been happening a lot. You know, and instilling the fear. It is so easy to control people with fear. This is all really sad, okay? But we have to go back to, yes, understanding we all have differences. Not all of us want the lifestyle somebody else has. That's my biggest thing right there, is as long as we're not hurting someone else, we should be able to live the life we want. Okay? Everybody. You know, I mean, I may not understand some lifestyles, but that's okay. You know, it's not my life. It's someone else's. And all I care about is that other person is happy. This pushing lifestyles, religions, it's got to stop. Because those are the things they are using to divide us. And I get people who don't agree with me. Oh, look at this baby. Look at that. Gorgeous. Oh, there's two. Beautiful. People who don't see what I'm seeing. People who aren't happy about it. People who are terrified. I understand. I don't feel that way. I don't feel the same as you do. But I understand that you do. I wish I could change that for you. But I can't. But I will tell you, so far, and I'm saying so far because everything's always subject to change, I'm happy with what I'm seeing so far. There may be one or two things I'm questioning. Now, if you like are in a group or you like someone who's, well, in office or whatever, and you agree with everything that group does, in everything, you might want to question. Is this guy going to stop at the stop sign? Okay. Well, you might want to question. Are you thinking for yourself? Because I don't believe it's possible, no matter how much you like a group and fit in with it, if there never is anything that you disagree with in that group, you're probably not thinking for yourself. Nobody ever agrees 100% with each other. So yeah, in this situation, I am happy with what is going on, but yes, there are items I am leery about, and that I question. But anyways, it is a very, very interesting time in the history of this planet to be alive. Now, there's a part of me that is wishing I was back home in the spirit realm and sitting in my recliner with a bowl of popcorn just watching the show from the other side. But apparently, that's not what I signed up for. What I never, ever thought of, I think, is, or a lot of us who were born in the late 50s, early 60s, we came in with all pretty much the same purpose. And I think what I didn't consider, knowing me, is that, well, I would be older. Who knows, I didn't probably think, well, I'd have brittle bones. I had very severe osteoporosis, and have a bad leg. And I never, you don't think about this when you're young. When you get older, you're tired. You get tired so much easier. That's how I'm feeling. I am so tired. I am so tired. When is this going to be over with? I mean, I'm exhausted all the time, it seems like. And I think a lot of us didn't consider that, okay, if you signed up to come in at this period of time, in the mid-20th century, be born at that time, when the shit really hits the fan, you could be old, right? Maybe we ought to start considering that when we're doing our pre-life planning. For those of you who are not into spirituality or spiritualism, I should say, and don't understand or don't believe what I do, just let that go. Don't pay attention to me. I don't know. I forgot to check my gas before. I'm okay. Yeah, so I understand. And it's scary because, I do have my moments where I think, wait a minute, is what's happening here really what I think is happening here? Or am I being tricked again? Are we all being duped again? I don't know. I feel like that at times. But most of the time, I feel like, yes, this is it. This is the real dawning of the age of Aquarius. I remember that song when I was a little girl, and I would listen to it and I would get so excited. And I knew that had something to do with why I was born. I didn't realize that the real purpose was going to be in my later years. Not that I know when I'm going to die, but you hit 60, you start thinking like that. It's, these squirrels are always darting out in front of my car. It's a strange time. It's different. It's definitely gonna go down in the history books. It will. But this is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. This is where, you hear about waking up. Well, I think, from what I have been watching, waking up means waking up to, I think it can mean two things. And I may be wrong. Waking up to what's really going on in the world. And also waking up spiritually, which when you wake up spiritually does lead to, seeing what's going on in the world. But yeah, this is the Great Awakening. That is what's happening here. Also, I know in spiritualism they always talked about the earth splitting and there being a new earth. I am not one to take everything literally. And I'm thinking, I don't see that one happening literally. But here's what I'm experiencing in my life. People I used to know and be close to, and who don't see things the way I do, don't have especially the spiritual experiences I have. They're not in my life anymore. So I think that's where the split is, because not everybody wants the new, the new world, the new paradigm. That not everybody wants that. And I think that's where the split is. It is not physical, it's more of a spiritual thing. And, we all hear about how our thoughts create our reality. So I think it has more to do with that. And, like I said, all the weird spiritual experiences I've had over the last 60 years has it has shaped where I am. And I think the newer generations, it's more common. There's even more of them having these experiences. And I remember, when was this? A couple months ago. This girl about 12, she was at the flea market with her grandfather. And she came into my booth and, she picked up that, yeah, I'm like her. And she started talking to me. And she also, here's the funny thing, the couple across from me, their booth, they do, I can't say if it's the same or not, I don't know, but they do view things differently. Now, they don't view the world like I do. They're the opposite. Lovely couple. But they're more into the odd like I am. And I know she talked to me about an experience she had. But yeah, she has those experiences, and the little girl was over there talking to her. It's like she just intuitively knew. And she started to tell me that some people she has told it has not been a good experience for her. They made fun of her. It was very bad. And I said, honey, well, you're more outgoing than I ever was. I said, but when I was a child, I never talked to anybody about it except my very best friend, because I knew I could trust her. And I still can, because she and I don't see eye to eye. We have a lot of different viewpoints, but she's one person in my life that no matter how we disagree, she's always there for me. I can always count on her. And she's one of those people, she's just always full of love. But anyways, I told this little girl, I said, one thing I learned early on, be careful who you talk to this stuff about. If you don't get some kind of clue that this person is open to it, say nothing. You need to learn how to protect your energy and protect yourself. So, yeah, things are changing, but that sort of stuff, the newer generations, there's even more of them that are like me. My generation, there's fewer. And that's part of the awakening, okay? We're just not awakening to what's going on this planet physically. We're awakening spiritually. And it is going to be different. I'm excited about it. I probably, based on my age, because I don't know how long it's going to take, but, some things take time. I probably will not be here for the benefits. I can watch from the spirit realm side, but I don't think I'll physically be here. I am enjoying the show, so to speak, here now. And it's interesting, and I'm having fun watching it, but it's also nerve-wracking too. So I know there's probably a lot of you who don't understand what I just said. I am always open for discussion and to answer questions, provided it's done so politely and sincerely. Any rudeness is always, most of the time, I'm going to say, I didn't always take it. I will delete it. But if you have questions or you want to have a discussion about it, I'm open to it. And if you want to let it go, let it go. There's nothing wrong with that. There is no right and wrong, about this stuff. So it's like, if you need to let it go, let it go. Okay? So I've talked long enough. I think I'm going to leave you guys with that. Blessed be, and make it a joyful one.